Righto team, we're getting ready for another trip, and what are we doing on this one? Well, we've got two brand new cars. We're going to be testing out the 2025 Ranger versus the new kid on the block, the 2025 BYD. And we're going to be checking out a whole heap of different stuff, including fuel economy, that's a big one, weight, overall comfort, how these things actually perform off-road, and how do they stack up as a touring rig. Dave?
Mate, first stop, Dalwallinu. That's the only charger we've got between here and Broome, basically. Then we're camping out at Meekatharra tonight. We're going to have a good look around the cars and check them out. Then we've got some off-road later in the trip. 2,200 Ks. We're really going to get to know these new cars.
Mate, this trip is going to be absolutely awesome. I can't wait to see how the BYD performs. We've got a heap of fun stuff ahead, so let's get in the rigs and crack on.
After 2 hours of hilly driving, the Shark needs some charge. So we're pulling into the only EV charger between here and Bidjadanga. So mate, we're here in Dalwallinu, and we're trying to chase down this charger. Have you seen it there? It's not at the address.
This is one of the problems, mate. There's only one charging station in town, so we've got to go back. All right, so this is we're going to take the scenic tour through Dalwallinu quickly. Alrighty, so we finally found the Dalwallinu charge fox.
So this is my first time doing this, so I'll just go start. Oops, it looks like your email address still needs to be confirmed. Charge Fox confirming your email. Hang on, standby. Says unavailable. Now it's available. Hang on, now it's unavailable. Hang on. Nah. Let's try and plug it in. Hang on, it's happening.
Oh, here we go. We're charging. So it's charging at 50 kilowatt.
Yeah.
Your battery's at 35%.
Correct.
Did you bring any board games with you?
The pub opens in 2 minutes. Maybe we'll go and have a beer and come back. So I'm just doing some numbers here. We left Bindoon Bakery and we have done about 150 odd Ks. Now there was about 100 to get to the bakery as well off the 100% battery, which we kicked off with this morning. So let's call it 250 Ks this morning. Now once we left Bindoon, we're sitting pretty much on 110, pretty hilly country, and we actually put no power at all into the battery. The battery sort of got to about 35%, and it sat and really did nothing other than just maintain itself, range between 33 and 35%. So we're going to top this up to 100%. The time frame to do that and go and put fuel in the car is going to be around an hour. This is a 50 kilowatt charger, by the way, you need to note that. So what we're going to do is we'll put the fuel in and we'll just work out how much it costs to put the power in and how much it costs to put the fuel in, and work out if it's really worthwhile standing around for an hour charging this battery up, or should we just leave it at 33% and pay for the juice.
So Dave is now filling up as well. So he's charged and he's filling up.
All right, so that was an hour of my life I'm never going to get back again.
Righto Dave, just left Dalwallinu and had a bit of an extended pit stop.
By the time we'd charged up and fueled up, we burned an hour, and the sad thing is I burnt 20% of my charge in the first 15 Ks, so the first 15 Ks out of Dalwallinu cost me $10.
So yeah, these are the things that we need to kind of start taking into account when it comes down to our final question, which is, are they a suitable tourer? But how's the comfort factor been so far?
I've got to say it's 10 out of 10 for comfort, this car. The seating's fantastic, driving position, lots of information coming at you, big screens. I must say the BYD suspension's really, really nice, comfy car to ride in. And you know, it's very intuitive, and you just sit back, you've got a lot of information coming at you all the time. And you know, with no gearbox, there's no kickback going around the trucks. I really, really think that's good. It really zips along nicely. Moving forward on that, I think we should compare the weights of the vehicles. What do you reckon?
All right, so stock as a rock, a Ranger is about 2.4, almost 2.5 tonne. Now, obviously, we've done a lot of modifications to this Ranger, including the Trojan canopy, the Ironman bar work, and obviously the rooftop tent and awning system. Once you kind of pack it all in, I'd be well and truly over that 3-ton mark, I think, you know, probably 3.1, 3.2 ton. What's the stock weight of the BYD?
It's 2,700 kilos. We've got a roof rack on top. I chucked on a second spare just for the for when we head further north later on. I've got some camping gear, fridges, an extra 40 litres of fuel. I reckon I'd be pushing 3 tonne all up with the bull bar and a few other bits and pieces in the car.
All loaded up. Well, it will be interesting to see what the fuel economy is all loaded up.
Yeah, I mean, look, looking at the fuel economy, Ford say that a stock Ranger is sitting at about 8.4 litres to the 100k. I'm sitting at the moment average 13.6, and live is at 14.2 at the moment. Team, so we are on the road again, just gone through Mount Magnet and went through the old Swagman Roadhouse. Dave needed to get another lick of fuel. I am still in my first tank. I've still got about 450 k's left in the tank, and we're about 190 k's out of Meekatharra. We're not going to make Meekatharra tonight. It's already 4 o'clock in the arvo, so we're going to find a campsite in the next half an hour or so, make camp, and then yeah, that gives us a bit of a fresh start in the morning.
What an awesome drive today. The sun's setting. It's a beautiful, cool evening. We're headed off the road. We're setting up camp. But tonight, one thing's a little bit different. We're cooking BYD Shark style. We got 240 volts. I've bought a fry pan, and let's see what it's like to cook on the back of the BYD.
It's been a good day with the BYD. We've learned lots of things about it. The trip computer has sort of got a few discrepancies showing up on it. We came around a corner just out of Mount Magnet, and it dropped from about 180k range to 111k range within a kilometre. So we've just fueled up in Mount Magnet. So it's looking like the tank's going to give us at about 400 k's max, which would leave a fairly good amount of battery power there for the night. And that battery power has sort of been concerning me. I've been playing around with the state of charge a lot in the car, and I backed it off to about 50%, just short of Mount Magnet, to see if we were getting a little bit better fuel economy out of it, but you know, really to no avail. But I'm kind of wondering, when you're out here, where do you want your battery to sit overnight? You know, more than 50% at least, I'd imagine. And you know, you want to keep the battery charged up while you're out in the bush here, with no really close prospect of a charging station. So looking at it, I've worked out a bit of a hack where you turn on your weighting control switch.
So is that why the car's still running?
That's right, Tony. And it runs the car even in park. It disables a few other things. It looks to me like it's chewing about 2.5 litres, and it's pumping in about 8 kilowatts an hour. So that's almost equivalent to a charging station.
Yeah, right.
Which is a bit, you know, something to think about. But I don't. It's not as fast as a charging station.
What you're trying to say is that we waited 45 minutes in Dalwalla when we could have done this, you reckon? Or?
Well, yeah, we just would have burnt more fuel. But I think the good thing is, as a camper, you've got a little bit more control over your battery. And you know, you might run it down while you're camping for a few days. You just want to charge it up. Well, this noise in the background is essentially the Jenny charging up the batteries, and I like it. I think it's a great thing. I think they should put another switch in the BYD saying stationary charging.
Camp mode.
Yeah, so that was good. That was a good little hack. So one of the really good things about the BYD is that it's got 240 volt power coming out of the battery bank, which lets you bring a few of your household appliances to make life a bit easier when you're on the road, particularly when you're doing short camps like the one we're doing at the moment while we're making our way up to Broome. So tonight we're having hamburgers, we've got the fry pan out. What I've done is I've popped this power bank in the back to run the fridge when the BYD is off, and use the power source to run these sorts of appliances as well. And then when we fire up tomorrow, the BYD will fire in and charge this up within a couple of hours back to the 100% state, and it just makes a really, really good backup. So that's always a good second battery system to have in the back of the ute. Next episode, we're pushing north. Tony gets behind the wheel of the BYD Shark and we start hitting a few of those dusty tracks, cool water crossings, and we're even doing a tow test between the Ranger and the BYD. Who uses the most juice? Look forward to seeing you then. See you next time.